So I started drawing when I was a kid, but at the school, the rural school, Couch School, Myrtle, Missouri, there wasn't any education in art, and I really missed that. A drawing on the family Bible. We didn't have a lot of paper, so art just, when I discovered drawing on, like actually when I was drawing on the wallpaper, and it was only like a 2-inch drawing, it wasn't like I was really messing up the wallpaper, but anyway, it just became a lifeline for me because I was very quiet and shy, and throughout my life it has been drawing, doing my artwork has been a way to express my deepest feelings, my thoughts, and just my spiritual connection to God, and so just opened up a new world for me. When I was a senior in high school, we moved to St. Louis, and I got to take all art courses, completely filled my schedule with art courses, and so went on to college and majored in art. And so after graduate school, I took a trip to Europe to be able to see the artwork that I had been studying, and it was kind of fun that when I was growing up, I had never heard of anybody going to Europe, traveling just to see things. The men had gone over to Europe in the military to fight wars, but never heard of anybody doing that just to see artwork and see what the culture was like. But when I was, I don't know, about 12, listening to the radio, this wonderful song called Runaway by Del Shannon. Somehow the music just sent me, it was as if it was in Europe. I just really desired to see Europe from listening to that song. Song had nothing to do with Europe, but that's what I wanted. So anyway, I went to Europe and went on a student boat, and it was very cheap, like $367 for a round trip for a year in Europe. And when I returned, I returned to doing my artwork and started teaching, and I went to a place that I was able to use the printmaking facilities, and I really got into printmaking, and so I created a print that was I entered in several exhibits, and it was accepted in exhibits all over the world. It was so neat because it was my family, the 17 members of my family plus a dog, and the people are all sort of like getting their picture taken, and their family, and so my family, who had never traveled to Europe, they got to travel to Europe in my pictures, in my artwork. And so from that printmaking, the experience in my printmaking, I did a lot. I have continued to do a lot of collage pieces, mixed media pieces that incorporate some of those prints, the prints of the family. And so I moved to St. Louis, and my family was still in St. Louis, and became involved with a community of women artists, and I became president of that. And then that organization was just kind of waning, and that organization segued into a St. Louis chapter of Women's Caucus for Art. And so because I was president of the community of women artists, then I was president, the first president of the St. Louis chapter of Women's Caucus for Art. It was painting by Marie Charpentier, who was a student, I believe, of Jacques-Louis David, and it was attributed to, for years and years, hundreds of years, it was attributed to Jacques-Louis David because it was assumed that a woman couldn't paint something this wonderful. But in later years, it was discovered that it was actually painted by Marie Charpentier. And then from there, I moved down. I wanted to start an initiative of education in the arts, and back where I grew up, closer to Myrtle, Missouri, and West Plains, Missouri. And so I left the area. This is a festival that I organized in West Plains, an arts festival, and that's me taking a break and nursing my daughter. I had been interested in the rock buildings, Ozarks rock buildings, because they seemed very telling of what the Ozarks, people in the Ozarks are, of the land, and strong buildings, and the people are very strong and hardworking, and so, but their beauty, the rock buildings add beauty to the land. And so I got married, and we bought a rock house, and so I started this series. It's been a 20-year series on working the original idea was to write a book about the rock buildings, but I'm still working on that. It's been 20 years, but in the process, in the meantime, I've done a lot of paintings and some etchings, but mainly paintings and mixed media pieces about the Ozarks rock buildings, and that's one of my piece that is included in this exhibit. Includes photographs of a rock building that is in Harrison, Arkansas, and it incorporates an etching, part of an etching of my Aunt Charlene, and a dog. And so, yes, I've had several exhibits about the rock buildings, and I do many talks of regional talks on the rock buildings and how beautiful they are, and trying to get people to preserve them. And the Ozarks Public Television did 2 programs on my project, and that's, anybody can see that from Ozarks Public Television, Ozarks Watch video magazine. And the projects, other creative projects that I've been involved in addition to directly doing artwork, is that I organized 2 arts festivals in West Plains with the idea of doing preliminary work for this initiative of educating in the arts. And so one of those projects that I did was to make use of my extensive collection of vintage clothes. And so I had a vintage and fun fashion show in which some of the women wore aprons, and then aprons with overalls, and that was the fun part of it. But there are a lot of other wonderful vintage clothes that I have. And another of the projects that I did was to exhibit a home environment in which the walls had my family portraits on them, and then I installed furniture of the 1940s era, 1930s, 1940s era. And so along the way then, since I had my wonderful rock home in West Plains and had a fine husband, then we had a daughter, lovely daughter, and now we are grandparents of 3 children. And I guess I could say, well, they all lived happily ever after in a rock building, in a rock house. I haven't directly felt anything against my artwork as a woman artist, not specifically, except in graduate school. I really wanted to major in sculpture, I love sculpture. I wanted to major in sculpture, but I was not able to. Broke my heart, but
because you're a woman?
Because I was a woman, because the department head was also the graduate advisor and also the sculpture teacher, and he did not like women. He didn't think that women should be in sculpture, and I was told that it was because he'd had recently broken up with his wife and had a very bad marriage, and they just had it out for women. And so I remember when I realized, after I had talked to him and realized that he never talked to me in a nice way, you know, it was always, well, anyway, I remember whenever I left his office and realized that I would not be able to major in art, that I went down, the women's restroom was on the bottom floor, and I went down there to the restroom and I cried and I cried, and I thought, okay, I give it up. I've always loved to draw and paint. I'll major in drawing and painting, which I did, and still love sculpture, love it all. My mixed media pieces are somewhat sculptural because I really like texture, and I build layers, even though, you know, it's not thick layers as you would work with in actual sculpture, but that's my way of compensating. I work with. I just really love texture and kind of digging into the surface of the paper and building up materials and digging into that and being physical in that way. That's the closest I get to sculpture. Just the concept behind it. Nevertheless, she persisted. I persisted in doing artwork, even though there wasn't a cultural. It wasn't something that was easy to do in a certain way, and I had to. Just look around for my own ways of getting materials and figuring out how to use the materials. I continue to strive to find funds to make this idea happen. And so I'm persistent in that. So that's why the show was made just for me. I've always been very much aware of the situation for women, even though it's gotten a lot better. But there's just a lot of lack of understanding about who women are and what they have gone through. And it's not something that I want to punish people for. I just want to see us grow beyond that, and hopefully, and I believe that exhibits like this can help in the understanding more and appreciation of women about who they are and their potential, because so much of what I witnessed when I was growing up especially was that women had very limited role, and I won't talk about that, but that their roles were very limited, and because they were thought not to have the intellectual or the spiritual stamina, strength to go beyond just being really just their bodies have been, our bodies have been, we've just been defined by our body, and rather than body, mind, soul, spirit. And we very definitely have a spirit, and we very definitely have good minds. Well, it's a further affirmation of my professional life, and I'm very happy to be in this exhibition. It's a wonderful space, and I have wanted my artwork to be in the Daum Museum for a long time, and I'm very happy about that, and appreciative of the Obelisk Home people and the Jury University women getting together the exhibit, and a wonderful idea to further the exhibit here in this space. And I think it's very affirming for women artists. It's very encouraging to women artists, myself included. Well, I would say just keep on at it, you know, keep working, keep working no matter what, because it's your own personal thoughts, feelings, your own self that you're putting on canvas or on paper or in stone or in clay, and I just say, go to it, girl.
Thank you.
This is my mother and my sister, Deborah, and then, oh, that's my mother. So these two were a part of an exhibit that I called Layers of Wallpaper. So all the pieces had wallpaper in them. I especially wanted to bring this because I wanted to show the fact that I used some of these etchings, those that didn't work out, that I would cut out mainly these little girls here, which is myself and my cousin my cousin Ginger. This is my Aunt Lucille. And my Aunt Lucille was the one that gave me the opportunity to go to college. She had worked really hard to get into college, or to finish her college degree, and she wanted her nieces and nephews to be able to go to college too. And so she told me when I was in the 6th grade, she pulled me aside when she was visiting, and she said, "Barbara, I want you to get your education, and you can come and live with me and Jack." And so my heart is, I'm very touched right now thinking about that because, you know, nobody thought I was smart enough to go to college, or my family hadn't. Actually, my father's mother had not had an opportunity to be educated at all. She could not read or write. And so my mother's sister, this is my mother's sister, Aunt Lucille, she wanted her nieces and nephews to have a college education if they wanted it. So when I graduated from high school, I took her up on it.